Debo, an All-Pro 2 years ago, 1,400 total yards, if I'm not mistaken. One of the best seasons you've seen all around at wide receiver. You could suggest this decade what he did a few years back. Now he's joining Jayden Daniels, one of the most talented quarterbacks in the game right now, obviously one of the youngest. Does Debo make Jayden the best quarterback in the NFC?
Respectfully, because we're a team, I think it's honor. We should let
the quarterback
go.
talk.
Yeah.
If we're talking quarterback,
we got a lot to talk about, and I won't be respectful, so I'm gonna be respectful to him.
If we, sir,
you want me to go?
Yeah. You need to go because they need to hear what you about to tell these people. Debo, listen up too, please, Debo.
Will Debo make Jayden Daniels the best quarterback in the NFC? No, I think he's second behind Matthew Stafford. Quite honestly, I think that what Jayden showed us his rookie year is amazing. And I think he's going to continue that to his second year with or without Debo. Look, I like Debo. I think Debo's got a little left in the tank. Do I think Debo's this huge difference maker now that he's in this offense? No. Do I think this offense fits him better than Kyle Shanahan's offense? Absolutely. I think what Cliff Kingsbury does offensively is he gets the ball out of Jayden Daniels' hands, and Debo is known for catch and run, right? My biggest thing is Debo's missed 20 games in his career. Okay, he's had 1,000 yards receiving once in his career. Now, I do think Debo's one of the greatest gadget players of all time. And I do think that when you put Debo, when you put Debo on the Commanders.
Gadget sound like not like a playmaker.
Debo's one of the best gadget players of all time.
What's that mean for the viewers? What's a gadget player mean?
And it means no disrespect. A gadget player for me is you can hand on the ball in the backfield. Yes. You can hand the ball on the jet sweep. You can throw it to him on a quick screen. You can throw it to him on a post. Yeah. You can throw it to him on a cover zero beater. That's gadget. Do it all. There's not many guys out there that can do that.
You play, real quick, you play with, I think, a gadget guy example. McCluster, is that his name?
Dexter.
Oh, yeah, Dexter.
You think Dexter, is he a gadget guy?
Yeah.
That's a gadget guy to me.
Debo's a playmaker.
Right. All pro at that.
I think that's different.
Okay.
Are they similar? I just want to know before, because I want to go.
No, they're not similar.
Let's say I think
when I say a gadget player as an offensive, it means no disrespect. In fact, I was going to say before I was interrupted, James Jones on a Monday.
My dog, I'm just making sure.
I got you. A gadget player is how I see it, and I think that's how Kyle Shanahan sees it, meaning you can call any play right now and give it to Debo. Now, do I think Debo's going to stay healthy? No, his career said it. Okay. He's missed at least 2 games in his career. 21, he missed 1 game in his career. I do think, though, Debo walks into that building as the true number 2 playmaker on the squad. And I think that's helpful.
You know what? I feel a little better, though, because that take wasn't as bad. Because earlier it was kind of crazy. So I want to get it straight before
Maybe you didn't understand what I was saying.
No, I heard what you said. I'm going to say yes, right? First of all, before we even add Debo to the conversation, the question's about Jayden, right? Is Jayden
Daniels, will he make him the best?
I'm going to say yes.
Over Matthew.
Before you even get to Debo, Jay was crazy this year, right?
Yep.
And he was a rookie. That's the worst we're ever going to see him. Making plays with his arm, making plays with his legs, and he didn't have a whole bunch of great weapons around him.
Yeah.
Right? I didn't have Puka over here, and I didn't have Cooper over here. I didn't have that. I had to make things happen. My running game was up and down this year, right? I think I need explosive, maybe one more running back, maybe another more explosive tight end. The stuff he did already. Now you add Debo, so now we see all the plays, him throwing the ball so deep. What if I throw that 10-yard slant route?
Yes.
Debo go take it to the crib. You talk about these slants, or you talk about these screens. Yep. Screens really matter. It's a joke and all that, but every winning team, from the Bradys, from the Patrick Mahomes, from all these different areas, they throw screens,
breather
right?
For the quarterback.
It's the way to keep a defense off balance. You want to blitz me? Quick screen out, right? Yeah. So now you got to guard the whole field. Debo's the best player in football when the ball's in his hands. Running back or wide receiver. Okay? Because I can put you in the backfield, make plays. I can put you at wide receiver, make plays. He's a guy that whoever he's playing, whoever's on the game plan with Debo, you got to circle him. Okay, watch after number 1 or number 19, whatever number he has when he goes to Washington. Another thing is, when you have a superstar quarterback that can throw and he can run, you got to watch the whole field. This is a big move. I don't know if people are really watching this. I'll just say this. When the Niners had issues in their offense, right, and maybe the running game is not working with McCaffrey. Maybe Kittle's having them down games that he had up and down, right? Debo was the one that got the offense out that jam. And I know we take it for granted because however it went with his, I guess, how many plays he gets or the percentage of the offense he has. One thing about Debo, he is a baller. The easiest thing to coach in football is a dog. Because I don't have to get you motivated. I don't have to figure out how to get you the ball. I know if I get you the ball, I know what you're going to do with it. And Deebo is that type of player.
Now, before you go, I like the take, and I appreciate the take because I think you bring a superstar perspective to the show, which none of us have. My thing is, do you think that you're stuck in 2021? Like, that's the year that he was all pro. I'm not saying that he can't do that, but at the same level, when you're getting older, he just turned 29, can he bring that same level of production, because he hasn't stayed healthy, to the Commanders? That's all I'm saying.
I mean,
Debo.
I think so. I think we lack, on this show, we lack the respect for superstars, right? And I think it's like a plug-in-plug thing, and it's not. To go out there and produce and play, that's a hard thing to do. And you could talk about maybe he hasn't been as productive as 2021, but there's a lot of players that can do that too, and I can talk about. But that doesn't mean that they still don't have it in them.
Yeah.
Because if Debo goes out here and balls out with this team, right? Yeah. Nobody here gonna be surprised.
No.
You get what I'm saying? He's that good.
But what's interesting, I'm somewhere in between you all two. Now, I am a fervent yes. Deebo Samuel will make Jayden Daniels the best quarterback in the NFC because Jayden Daniels now has what all the other NFC quarterbacks have, a down-off guy.
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts, give it to Saquon, down off. Breather. Jordan Love, give it to Josh Jacobs, down off. Matthew Stafford, throw a now pass to Puka Nacua, down off. Jayden Daniels was not able to take any downs off last year because he did not have what I would suggest is a down-off guy. I can just get it to you, and I can take it down off. I can throw you a now screen, Debo, down off. I can throw you a tunnel screen, Debo, down off. Oh, you in the backfield, I can give you a quick pitch, Debo, down off. Now you have a down-off guy. The other thing I would suggest, defensively, there are three things. Energy, effort, eye control. That's what defenses boil down to. Energy, effort, eye control. And you could also suggest, effort, eye control, and execution. Deebo Samuel will manipulate defenders' eye control. Now there is another player on defense that I have to focus on with my eyes. If I'm looking at Debo, I might not be looking at Scary Terry. If I'm looking at Debo, I might be out of my run fit, and Robinson Jr. might crease it. If I'm looking at Debo, if you fake it to Debo on a jet sweep, now I might lose contain, and Jayden Daniels might pull it. Now you have another player on offense who can manipulate a defender's eye control. They did not have that last year. The only player you're worried about is Scary Terry. In the red zone, you're also worried about my dog, Zach Ertz. But in the field of play, the only person you're worried about is Scary Terry. Now insert Debo. You manipulate eye control. You can undermine one of the three factors that is to defense, which is energy. You also have execution and then eye control. I think he makes Jayden the best in the NFC.
Is it a down-off guy when he gets 2 yards a catch and 2 yards a carry? He averaged 3.2 yards a carry. I think you're still stuck in 2021, too.
And
it's sometimes, because I do agree with you that quarterbacks need a breather play. It's a down-off breather. Like, just throw it out there.
Yep.
But would I rather just throw it out there to know that, hey, he's the second best skill player on the team. I got to get him his touches, but he's only averaging three yards a carry. It makes my job harder on second and long now. So I don't know if he's the same off
He's
down
not. He's
as
not.
it is.
I'm not. Where I'm in between y'all is Debo is not today who he was in 2021. He wasn't in 2019, 2020, 2022, 2023, or 2024 who he was in 2021.
No.
Like, let's make no mistake about it. Even Deebo would suggest, and he has suggested, Mike McDaniel, the current head coach of the Dolphins, was really his hidden secret in 2021. Deebo has suggested that himself. So I'm not going to act like Debo is a perennial 1,400-yard receiver. I'm also curious, and I'll further this conversation with Shady after James gets to take, I wouldn't even suggest Debo's a superstar. He's an all-pro once. I'm not putting him in LeSean McCoy conversations. I'm not putting him in Saquon Barkley conversations. I'm not putting him in Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson conversations. Deebo Samuel is the best playmaker in football. Yes, hear that beyond the shadow of a doubt. But, like, I don't even know if I can put him in a Justin Jefferson, Ja'Marr Chase superstar conversation.
Not as a receiver.
Right.
He's a superstar playmaker.
He's the best playmaker.
And that is with the Saquon Barkleys, the Deshaun McCoys, the whoever. He's a superstar playmaker. He made Jimmy G a legit quarterback.
That's a lie, James. Nobody. Jimmy G was still not a legit quarterback.
Jimmy G went to the NFC Championship and Super Bowls and played at a decent level because he dumped this football.
And you suggest that's because of Debo?
A lot of it. Because of Kyle Shanahan and being able to have a down-off every other down.
Yes.
And I'm being respectful, but I'm being serious.
That's real. That is honest.
You understand what I'm saying? That's what Debo brought to him. Every single time Deebo Samuel was out of the lineup and Brock Purdy struggled, what did we say? He didn't have Debo. He didn't have a lot of his. That's what we said. That is what Deebo Samuel is to a quarterback. And now with Jayden Daniels, who we just seen take a team in the Washington Commanders, with all due respect, not a lot of talent on the offensive side of the ball, and the defensive side of the ball at all to the NFC Championship strictly on his back? The answer should clearly be yes, now that you have another playmaker like Deebo Samuel that you can take a down off, that you can have a coverage dictator. When you break the huddle and 19 breaks the huddle in the backfield, what you think the defense saying, Acho?
Hey, there go 19, there go 19, there go 19, there go 1, there go 1,
the next time you break the huddle and he's in a bunch formation, Acho, what you think the defense saying, Acho?
Hey, you got Debo in a bunch, you got Debo in a bunch. Hey, let's box this, let's triangle, whatever the case is.
And you still have to deal with Jayden Daniels' legs and arm and Scary Terry. I think without a doubt, Deebo Samuel makes Jayden Daniels the best quarterback in the NFC strictly because of the attention he's going to get, the gadget guy that he is, the playmaker that he is, and all the things he brings to an offense. He is going to help Jayden Daniels out, and Jayden Daniels is going to take the next step. Another thing that's crazy to me is right when a dude has a down year, we wants to know.
That's a lie.
He's had
Jay.
five
That's a lie.
He's had 4 down years.
That's how it works.
Let me do this because let me do this.
stats,
Let's remove feelings from facts because I'm doing it in real time.
Look right here.
Debo's All-Pro year, he had 1,400 receiving yards. Would you believe me, James, if I told you the 2 years before he averaged 597 receiving yards? The 3 years after, he's averaged 731 receiving yards. This is not some sort of like, oh, he had one down year.
That's not just Debo as a player, though. Debo as a player is a running back. He is a receiver. He is a kick returner.
But what we are suggesting is Debo averages 600 receiving yards a year. He really averages closer to 680 receiving yards a year in 5 seasons.
Yeah.
Then in 1 season, he has 1,400.
But I'm saying when you put the rushing yards and all that stuff in there.
Yeah, that matters.
I'm talking about the football player, Debo. Right. You guys are strictly just going to these receiver stats. I'm talking about what the football player Debo brings. And the football player that Debo brings is an all-pro football player and a superstar football player and playmaker. You guys are just going off of strictly just receiver.
Right.
My man is back there on kick return.
Yes,
my man is in the backfield. My man is at wide receiver. My man is everywhere as a football player. And we're strictly just talking about his receiver stats. That's not Deebo Samuel as a football
What I'm
player.
suggesting is you can talk about Debo however you want. I don't even think there's that big a disconnect between what we're all saying.
No.
I just don't think Debo's a 1,800-yard all-purpose guy next year. I just don't. I think he's a 900-yard. He is all-pro year.
But if he can give you 1,300, 1,200.
But Shady can't.
All purpose?
Unless you're counting kicking, unless you're counting kick returning, Debo's broken 1,000 yards in 6 seasons twice.
I'm saying everything. I'm saying when
if you're counting kick returning.
Everything, though. Him on the field. See, another thing is when I look at, okay, so if I'm a defense, right? Now, first of all, Jayden Daniels just took this team with no real talent to the NC Championship game, right?
Yeah.
So I look at him now. When you come to game plan the Commanders in the second year of Jayden Daniels, you're going to be, okay, we got to watch out for Scary Terry. He's number one receiver. Got to watch out for him. Cool, right? Boom. Then it's like, all right, this quarterback, not only can he throw the ball, he can run too, though. So now we need a spy, right? Yep. I play a lot of running quarterbacks. Everybody has a little spy.
Yep.
So safeties, linebacker is something, maybe it's a lighter DN, right? Yep. Act like he's rushing, he's spying. So you got to watch out for that. And the third thing is like, yo, they run the ball on a lot of different packages with him, quarterback-driven runs or the running back. You know what I mean? So now you got to watch out for that, the RPOs. Yeah. The last part is, yo, now we got to watch after Debo. And y'all tell me that don't matter?
It does.
Because now I can put him in the backfield with my dangerous quarterback. We can run something. Or I can have him as jet sweep. Yeah. Or even him running routes or screens, wherever it may be. He's such a dangerous player. That's why it's like, I don't think I really give him enough credit because maybe things didn't work out with San Fran after a while. I mean, their quarterback ain't the greatest. He needs to be around a super situation. And on top of that, when I look at all the stats I keep talking about, so you got to feed Kittle. He's a top-tier tight end. Yeah. You got to feed the best player on the offense is McCaffrey.
Yeah, he's been 1 year, though.
Hold up. And then the number one receiver on the squad is Ayuk. So now we talking about, like, sharing the ball. It's only one pigskin, man. It's only one of them, though. It's only one of these things, though, right? And it's like sometimes we got to pick, what are we doing more with? And I think now when Debo's coming to a place where we want you. See, one thing about when you get traded, I don't know if you guys have ever been traded, but when you get traded, a team is saying, listen, I'm willing to take your contract because we want you that much. Mm-hmm. I hear you got a lot going on in San Francisco, but we want you here. So now when you come to somewhere that wants you, they're going to find ways to get you the ball. And we all, I don't care what y'all feel about Debo, we all know this. If you find a way to get Debo the ball, he's going to make plays.
And then look, Adam Peters is a GM in Washington. He was with Debo in San Fran, so they know what they're getting. It's just like, we're talking about him, and you think he's the best playmaker, best play. I don't know. It's just like, what do we miss? like that Kyle Shanahan didn't, because Kyle Shanahan shipped him off. Like he didn't want him on the team for like 2 years. Like it's been like the worst known secret that he's been trying to trade Deebo. So like if you're talking about him like he's this, why does Kyle Shanahan not want him? I get the salary, but they paid him the salary, and all of a sudden,
But Deebo too though wanted to get out of there too.
Yeah, facts.
Okay.
No, but at the end of the day, it's a team's decision. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we sitting here saying that we ain't seen superstar players get traded? Because we see that.
But why is one of the best offensive play callers in all the league wanting to ship off this amazing stud receiver? Like, is it stuff behind the scenes? Because you probably know, like, is it just his play on the field? Like his injury history? Is he lazy? Is he, like, washed? I'm not saying he is, but, like, we have to think about it from them. And there's only, based on what I know, there's only one team that wanted to trade for him.
But you know what's crazy, though? Because Deebo Samuel, he was going crazy last year saying, I want out.
Yeah.
Yes.
Kyle Shanahan
punching long snappers.
Kyle Shanahan said he ain't going nowhere. No, I'm talking about before the season started.
Yeah.
Deebo Samuel was saying, get me out of here. I want out. And Kyle said, no. Why? Because he knows on this little play call sheet that we see him in all red and all that, it's a lot of them that's got Deebo next to it.
Yep.
You got what I'm saying? And when he's calling the plays, damn, Brock ain't really seeing the game. Deebo. And that's why he wanted Deebo there. Now Deebo's gone. That is going to hurt him. This year, he knows quarterback money is coming up.
Come on now.
Deebo making a lot of money. Hey, it makes sense to get rid of him this year.
Here is
But
my
we see
question,
superstar
though,
players get traded year in
my
and year
question
out.
for Shady, Jay, not so much you, Chase, but viewers at home is, if you remove the name and we just talk the game, 136 rushing yards last year. The person to my right would probably suggest that's not that much. 670 receiving yards last year. The person to my left would probably suggest that's not that much. 225 rushing yards the year before. The person to my right would probably suggest that's not that much. 892 receiving yards the year before. The person to my left would suggest that's a solid season, but probably say in 18
year before
games.
last, he almost had 1,000 total.
The year before last, he exceeded it. The second year, he exceeded 1,000 years. The year before that,
So just last year, he didn't exceed the.
no, hold on, please. The year before that, he had 232 rushing yards. The person to my right would probably suggest that's not that much.
The wideouts.
That same year, he had 632 receiving yards. The person to my left would probably suggest that's not that much. And so we're sitting here talking about Deebo, and Deebo is a bad man with the ball in his hands, make no mistake about it. Now, I would say Saquon Barkley, Jamar Chase, Deebo Samuel, but that's neither here nor there. He's one of the best playmakers with the ball in his hands. But what I'm suggesting, James, is since the All-Pro season, 600 receiving yards, 890 receiving yards, 600 receiving yards, you would say not that much. Shady, I would say 230 rushing yards, 220 rushing yards, 130 rushing yards. Shady, you would say not that much. Yet here we are suggesting that Deebo is still this
Best playmaker.
1,500-yard playmaker.
Can you put all that together for us?
1,000%. James, in 3 seasons, he has 2,000 receiving yards. And Shady, in 3 seasons, he has 600 rushing yards. So he has
Go by the year. 2023.
2022.
Total?
2022. Total yards, 630 plus
Go to 2023.
Oh, 2023. Well, I can go to 23. That's when he did 1,000. That was 1,000.
Sound he averaging 1,000 a year.
12
not.
12 scrimmage touchdowns.
He's not.
And he had 12 tinkers.
12 tink-tinks in 23.
You know what though? Like you can't give stats without saying the name. If I told you Jalen Hurts stats from this year, it wouldn't blow you away.
Not at all.
If we take the name away, but when we put the name to, oh, okay, I get it. Same thing with Debo. Put some respect on Debo because this year I know what's going to happen. Y'all saying all this, right? Y'all stand by. Y'all not going to stand by once it happens. Then once he plays, hold up. Once he plays and he plays well and the team's winning and he's having success, y'all not going to be seeing that same story.
What's going to happen?
He's going to play well. I think
Of course he's going to play well. What's that mean,
I think he's going to make plays. I think he's going to be the reason why they win certain games. I think he's going to be an impact player like he's always been with the Niners, right? And I think that he's going to go for 1,000+ yards, all purpose. He's going to have over double-digit touchdowns. Debo's a playmaker.
Let me ask James, because you said, will Debo make Jayden Daniels
Not double-digit touchdowns.
Yes, it has.
12 touchdowns in 23?
Like, he not.
Hold on, let me ask, because you said when you first said it,
14
you said you thought Debo would for sure make Jayden Daniels the best. Where would Jayden rank without Debo then? You know what I mean? Because you're like, Debo automatically puts him over the edge.
In the NFC,
because you got Dak, Love, Purdy, Goff, Hurts, Stafford.
Without
Debo,
I will put him the 3rd best quarterback.
So you think Debo?
Maybe 4.
So you think Debo potentially takes, that's crazy, because you think Debo, the player we're talking about, takes Jayden Daniels from the 4th best quarterback potentially, you know, we're not going to rank, we're not going to get that, to the number 1.
I do.
You think he's that type of player?
Yeah, just like I feel like
wow.
Just like I feel like losing Cooper Kupp,
for one guy.
the way Matthew Stafford played last year, he's gonna take a step back losing Cooper Kupp with just Puka. I truly believe that.
All
Right? You add another playmaker, people don't understand.
That's interesting.
When you add another playmaker like Debo, that when you break the huddle, a lot of the attention goes to him. On top of everything that you already bring. On top of having Scary Terry. So now let's just play this game. Debo's out there now. Swing the coverage over Scary Terry and have to deal with Debo one-on-one. And you think Debo ain't going to catch a ball and break a one-on-one tackle? He's going to have 1,400.
Come on now, I'm trying to tell you.
You understand what I'm saying? So I just
the coordinator is really, really good,
when
too.
he breaks the huddle, Jayden Daniels' picture is going to be very, very clear now that 19 is out there. That's all I'm saying. And I think that will elevate him to a next level on top of year 2 walking in the building with everything already slowing down for the quarterback already.
Do you think, hold on one second. Do you think they need, real quick, do you think they need a true number 2 quarterback for Debo to be successful?
Number 2 receiver?
Sorry, number 2 receiver. Because right now, Debo's never shown he can be a true number 2 receiver. They have all free agents right now.
I agree.
They have all free agents.
I actually wait.
So
I'm just asking for him to be
all-pro year, and he had over 1,000 scrimmage yards in 2023 and 14 touchdowns. What receiver was he?
Kittle's number 2 for them.
I would have. No, I agree with you. I would.
And CMC might have been in 22. He might have more receiving yards than Kittle.
I think as the football player, you guys are disrespecting Debo.
I told you.
Right now as a football
How?
Superstar
I'm not
dude.
disrespecting.
Because
What were you going to ask them?
we are acting like Kittle's a better playmaker than Debo.
No, we're not. Chase, I'm saying this. I was agreeing with Chase. Debo, maybe 1 year, has been the number 2 receiving option. I think the Commanders still need a number 2 receiving
What I'm saying, why are we just tagging Debo as a receiving option?
We're only having that.
He has way more receiving yards in his career than rushing, so he tends to be more a receiver. That's how it is. You have a receiver that's playing running back. You have a receiver that's getting the ball in jet sweeps.
The show, Chase, is we all played.
Yeah.
And we all know the football player Debo is.
Yes.
And if Debo was strictly just at a receiver, he might not be a top 10 receiver. But if Debo was Debo, the football player, he might be a top 10, the number 1 playmaker in football.
Sure.
So why do we just keep labeling him as a receiver? Label Debo as Debo and as a playmaker, because that's what he is.
And that is fine.
That's a good point.
But the question still deserves an answer. Does Jayden Daniels need a number 2 wide receiver?
But
that question still deserves an answer.
But wait, if Debo is your, think about this for a second. If Debo is your number 2 receiver, though, what would you rank him? What would you rank out of number 2 receivers?
Just purely receiver.
I mean, playmaker. No, my number two offensive weapon, right? Wide receiver, whatever it is. What would he be?
Top 1 or 2.
No, James, that's not true. It's just not true. There's people like Devontae Smith that exist.
Okay, that's
they give
one.
you 1,200.
Give me something
It's people
else.
like T. Higgins who had 10 receiving touchdowns and 1,000 just last year. It's people like Jaden Waddle who go for 1,200 every year. Y'all just sitting here talking, James.
So first
we're just
off,
talking now.
You guys, are we talking Debo, the player?
Yes.
The player.
Because what we talking? Because if we're talking Debo the player, give me Debo the player over T. Higgins. If we're talking Debo the player, with all due respect to Devontae Smith, give me Debo the football player over Devontae Smith. What are we talking about? We're talking about an all-pro player, the best playmaker in football, arguably.
That don't matter,
in
though.
Deebo Samuel.
All pros don't matter, dog.
Receiving yards.
Over T. Higgins?
As a football player? Yes.
All pros don't matter, James. They don't matter.
It does.
We are sitting here just talking about receiving yards, bro.
It does matter. Now, we do pick and choose who it matters for.
But what I'm saying,
I think it's easier to get the ball.
So as a quarterback, forget all the rushing yards that all these running quarterbacks got, just strictly rate them as passers. Then a lot of them, Jayden Daniels, Lamar Jackson, whoever, a lot of them boys probably wouldn't be up there for the years in the National Football League if we taken away their legs.
Here's the thing.
That's them.
I hear you.
Debo wasn't, if you look even at the Niners squad, was Debo the number 2 option on the Niners? Over his body of work, over his 6-year career there, I would have suggested that Debo was not the number 2 option more often than not on the Niners. Remember, George Kittle does in fact exist.
Of touches
like George Kittle has more All-Pros. McCaffrey did exist last year. Not last year, obviously, the year before. McCaffrey did exist.
Really,
but Brandon Ayuk has an All-Pro too now.
But I'm saying, you talk
about really stacked with a bunch of tight ends, great tight ends around the league.
And everyone on that team is like all pros everywhere. That's a hard one to take. But I'll say this about Jayden Daniels, though. I can't, even without Debo, I can't name 6, 7 quarterbacks better than him.
No doubt.
Yeah, I agree with that.
No,
I can't name it. I don't care about none of that.
100%. That's why I don't think
I know
he
my
takes
eyes
it
work.
from 4 to
So,
1.
I think so your eyes work
I
for
agree with that.
Jayden, but when it comes to watching Debo as a player, your eyes don't work.
What up, YouTube family? Welcome to the facility. Thanks for watching, and you better be sure to hit that subscribe button if you want to get more highlights from the show and all of our exclusive content.